Happy Spooktober, everyone! Back in the day, kids' movies did not mess around. They were dark, they were scary, and they had you saying, how did they get away with that in a kids' movie? These are 6 creepy kids' movies. Number 6 is Tower of Terror. Based on the Disney World ride, Tower of Terror is a Twilight Zone spin-off starring Kirsten Dunst and Steve Guttenberg. A disgraced reporter and his daughter investigate the haunting of the Hollywood Tower Hotel. This is a Disney movie, so it's not The Conjuring, but for kids, it took things further than usual. And because of that, kids loved it, but parents sent Disney a lot of angry letters. On primetime Disney Channel hours, kids were seeing a headless ghost with a knife, a witch using black magic, voodoo dolls so she can kill her sister, and this weird green ghost rain.
I think I want to be someplace else.
Even though it creeped me out, I was obsessed with this movie. Tower of Terror is one of my favorite Disney rides, and it took familiar things you get to see on the ride and gave it a cool backstory as well as some genuinely heartfelt moments to back the scares up. Number 5 is Return to Oz. The Wizard of Oz was always a little scary for kids, but Return to Oz took it to the next level. Dorothy suffers from PTSD from the events of the original movie, so Aunt Em sends her to the doctor to get psychiatric experiments to remove these memories. Part of this torture includes getting electric shock therapy, and this is just how the movie starts. From there she gets taken back to Oz and has to save the city from the Gnome King. She meets a princess, but not the kind from Disney movies. This princess likes to keep decapitated heads in her closet. Then there's the Wheelers. If you thought the flying monkeys were scary, just wait until you see these things. They have wheels and hands for feet, and they have this really creepy laugh. Return to Oz takes a lot of characters from the Wizard of Oz and takes a much darker look at them. It explores some interesting themes, and it's actually a pretty good movie. But for kids, it was a twisted nightmare. Number 4 is the Clubhouse Detectives. Clubhouse Detectives was the kids' version of Rear Window. But when I say kids' version, I don't mean that it's toned down. It really wasn't. A new neighbor moves next door who might be a serial killer. The rest of the movie finds a clubhouse of kids trying to prove this to their parents. The one scene that really stood out to me as a kid was when the murderer is hiding in the freezer. At the end of the movie, these kids realize they now have to find an actual body for proof. With it being a kids movie, you kind of expect that they're not going to find a real body, but they actually do. And once they do, then the murderer is legitimately trying to kill these kids, and he pretty much stops at nothing to try and do it. Also, this basement looked pretty similar to my basement, and the way the steps are not carpeted, where the guy can reach under the steps and grab your foot, that's how my stairs were. So basically for a year, this movie ruined me from ever going in the basement. Number 3 is Don't Look Under the Bed. This was a Disney Channel original movie about a girl who is constantly blamed for school pranks that are actually being done by the boogeyman. She tries to track him down with the help of an imaginary friend named Larry Houdini. Unlike most Disney movies, this one went lighter on the humor and doubled down on its creepy and strange dreamlike atmosphere. Anytime the boogeyman showed up, this purple fog rolls in. The scariest part for me was that the good guy, the imaginary friend, gets turned into a boogeyman. She then has to climb under the bed and go to the world of the boogeymen. This was the first Disney Channel original movie to get a TV PG rating, which was actually a pretty big deal at the time. Parents complained about this one so much that Disney ended up taking it out of rotation a few years later, and they even stopped showing it until the middle of the night. Number 2 is The Gate. A group of kids accidentally summon some demons from a hole in their backyard. It's kinda like The Goonies mixed with The Evil Dead. The effects don't always hold up, but they're still pretty insane for a kids movie. One of the creepiest moments is when the demons impersonate the main kid's parents.
You've been
They try to drag him away, and when he fights back, their faces actually start melting. This movie is chock full of creepy moments that target everything kids are afraid of. Like monster hands grabbing you from under the bed, dead bodies coming back to life, human sacrifices. It's one of the few scary family movies that felt like it was aimed at adults just as much as for kids. The number one creepy kids movie is Crybaby Lane. Crybaby Lane aired on Nickelodeon just once before it was banned. I don't even know how Nickelodeon thought this was a good idea. And on top of that, they funded the movie to get made. It tells the story of a group of boys who discover the legend of Crybaby Lane. Legend has it, a small-town farmer and his wife had Siamese twins. One twin was good and the other was evil. The farmer kept the twins locked in their room and eventually they became sick and died. The farmer cut the twins in half and buried them in separate graves. Did I say that this was a movie that aired on Nickelodeon? After hearing about the legend, these kids get the bright idea to hold a seance in the cemetery to communicate with the good twin. Surprise, surprise, they awaken the evil twin instead, who begins to possess the townspeople one by one. And it's up to these kids to stop him. With a plot like that, there are multiple creepy moments throughout, including scenes of kids getting possessed. The fact that it was banned for a decade made the movie all the more of a mystery. The movie became a legend itself. Fans demanded that Nickelodeon air the movie again, and so they finally did in 2011. Getting scared as a kid is like a rite of passage, and no matter how creeped out I would get, I loved it. But now I want to hear from you. When you were a kid, which movies creeped you out? Thanks for watching, and if you're new to the channel, you can subscribe for more movie lists and movie reviews every week.